Hello, everyone! Blue Star Saber here, once again with Mangareader to discuss another My Hero Academia chapter review, chapter 337. Say hello, Mangareader.
What's up, guys? Mangareader here.
Yeah, let's see, Mangareader here once again for the fifth time in a row, maybe?
I have no idea anymore.
Yeah, I've lost count. Lucky Chi was supposed to be joining us, but unfortunately he had to cancel. He was finally about to make his return, but it seems it's been delayed once again. Possibly for next week, which may or may not be the last chapter of the year. I forget where it's usually around the time when, let's see, at least.
The
On this time,
2 week hiatus.
yeah. Because I remember when. I still remember. Let's see, I still remember the last two Naruto chapters for, let's see, 2012 and 2013.
Yeah.
One put the Naruto fandom in despair with Narihina, the hand holding, and the other was Kishimoto killing Naruto on Christmas time. Or him losing the Nine Tails on Christmas time, but yeah. I still remember those days. Well, granted, for the 2012, I think I was still a Narihina fan at the time, so. Boy.
Who knew?
But anyway, we're not here to discuss Naruto. We're here to discuss My Hero Academia as we follow up from the last chapter, as where Ariyama confirms to Midoriya that he is the traitor and all that stuff, as we continue this sort of like traitor arc, if you will. And we find out, let's see, this chapter, how Midoriya will respond to such news.
How indeed.
So yeah, the chapter, let's see, the chapter's title is A Disposable Life, and seems a bit fitting given let's see how the chapter begins with a summary about, let's see, Dabi questioning, let's see, All For One about his so-called friend to spare, if you will. Let's see, and wondering what happens will we get screwed over if this friend of yours gets caught. With All For One smiling and laughing, not in the slightest, and all that stuff. So let's see. Asking Dabi a question about, say, your 100 yen lighter Vizzle, Ritzy goes out and all that stuff fizzles out. What do you do? And pretty much he just Ritzy. So implying that it doesn't matter, implying that he's completely disposable, as he says, it doesn't matter if his friend succeeds, he'll be happy. If not, should he fail, it's like, oh well, what a shame. After that, and after a bit of disappointment, you set him on to the next part. You set on to the next route to his plans and all that stuff, saying that while it would be useful if he succeeds, it doesn't matter in the long term. As he goes on about how they're less like friends and more just disposable tools at his will, if you will. Let's see. Though he will enjoy any success that they can have, as we follow up from the last chapter, as Yuga's parents grab Oyama and try to run away with him and all that stuff, with Midoriya and Invisible Girl going in pursuit.
Toru.
Yes, we can.
Hagaki. Yeah.
Toru Hakagu. Sorry. I forgot the name for a second.
I don't know about her last name. I'm pretty sure it's hard to pronounce, but yeah, Toru.
It's always hard to pronounce. Let's see another country's names that you're not
Japanese,
quite. Yeah. But yeah, as let's see, Oyama looks on at his parents crying. Let's see, as you know, thinking about how his parents, him being quirkless, was a bit of a was a bit of a despair for them, as they both came from apparently wealthy and privileged families, and apparently French families, because I think Oyama is supposed to be French. So there. And apparently, and apparently they never wanted anything in their own upbringings, And apparently the two of them fretted over him being like different from the other children even more than he did, because I guess they were probably worried that Aoyama would probably be teased and bullied for being quirkless. I mean, we saw what happened when Midoriya was revealed to be quirkless to his kindergarten kids. Let's see. And I mean, throughout most of his like early his early childhood until he encountered All Might. So that's why, let's see. So he thinks about how, against all odds, wishing for like Aoyama's happiness, they dare to believe such dangerous rumors, as we see two silhouettes of them talking about how apparently he can give quirks to others. Assuming that it's just a guy with the ability to pass on quirks, nothing more, probably not realizing to the extent of what All for One is. Granted, at first, Aoyama suffered at the hand of his new quirk, which was like clearly a poor fit for his body, which, if you ask me, I think All for One did that intentionally, if you ask me.
If we ask you, okay. Then let's ask you.
But granted, it didn't stop the parents trying to do the best they can for Aoyama, giving him like his equipment, such as his laser belt and all that stuff, and giving as much love as they can, allowing Aoyama to go forth to his own dreams and all that stuff, as he wanted to give hope back to people that, like himself and all that stuff. However, due to the fact their parents feared him being so different, it came with a price when All for One decided to take up the debt they owed him and stuff, talking about how, telling Aoyama, if you be attending UA, All Might will be there, so get as much dirt as you get as much dirt as you can on him. So, as we see throughout the various bits, of when he ordered him to get information, such as when his class is going to be isolated, the location of the training camp, and eventually now that Midoriya has returned to UA, he wants him to lure him somewhere alone. As Aoyama's thinking about his hero dream about acting in the service of others in the pursuit of their happiness and giving myself off to everyone else's sake, if you will, wanting to be like the hero that gives happiness to others, if you will. As we can see in Aoyama's tears in his eyes as he talks about the notes that Midoriya left him. When he learned like Midoriya was like him, born quirkless. He talks in a bit of like perhaps a desperate bit of fury, I guess you could say, or a bit of despair. He cries about how he fell into utter despair and all that stuff. I'm saying despair multiple times, aren't I?
Yes.
But yeah. Anyway, as Aoyama's about to use his navel while Midoriya uses his All for One, telling Aoyama to quit it. As he uses his laser. However, Toro uses her invisible body to like refract light. Sorry.
Refract light, yes.
Yeah. Moving it from one direction to another, if you will.
Yep.
Anyway, at this point, Aoyama, possibly from the visibility of the smoke from the laser that hit her, as she starts talking about how they could have been killed all those times. And not to mention about how Japan's all totally messed up. She's asking, Aoyama what was going, due to his spy work. She was wondering what was going through his head when they were in this whole school with us, as for the first time, either due to the lighting or possibly the smoke, we finally see a silhouette of Toro Hakigo, aka Invisible Girl's face.
Yeah, and if you don't know who the reflection is, that's your own fault.
As she ends up, as we see her being saying angry, but also tears in her eyes. As you can see, she's probably angry, but also hurt at the same time.
Right.
Let's see. As she goes on about ranting about how living in the dorms with us, ask him to say something as Ayama's still upset. Let's see, as the parents try to defend Oyama, saying that he done nothing wrong, all he ever wanted to do, telling them they have it wrong. Let's see, there you go, only ever wanted to. But before they could finish, Midoriya captures them in Black Whip as well as Oyama, subduing them. As he tells both Oyama and Hagaki to listen, where it actually tells Oyama to listen to what he's about to say, as Invisible Girl just did him a favor. Telling him he doesn't want him hurting anyone else. Telling him to just stop as they come along with him. So if you can see now, Midoriya starting to cry, just saying, "Just let this be over." As we cut to the top of UA's building, up to I believe the. One of the signs in the hallway says AV room, but clearly probably just the head the head teacher's room, or one of the classrooms, perhaps. Now I think about it, now just going from the background, as we see, Oyama and his family subdued and strapped to chairs, with both the police arriving with All Might's best friend and his lieutenant right-hand man, that kitty fella. As well as Present Mike, Aozara in the background there. You can barely just tell, but I think it's definitely him. The sort of the hero that can clone himself, I think.
I thought it was Plasma Guy, but yeah.
The Plasma Guy and the principal. With the police officer, All Might's friend. Let's see. Maybe I should just find out his name quickly. Police My Hero Academia. Police Force. Let's see, Chief of Police. No, that's Kenju Tasagame. No, here it is. Nomamashu Takuchi, who is a ranked detective, apparently.
Oh.
Let's see, and his and the officer partner is called Sansa Tamawaki. I'm not going to remember those names, but so heck.
No, you won't.
Let's see. So he's just asking the gist of saying that the board that Oyama was given a quirk by All for One and took control of the family. And the quirk, was granted about over a decade ago. The fact that the kid it's sitting here in one piece tells us that it's not rigged like Lady Naga's was and all that stuff. As we see All Might looking visibly upset, maybe even horrified about this revelation and all that stuff. Given the fact that this is another. Looks like there's a comment in the side chat. Let's see. Someone called Donna Watson going Vra Tech. Okay, I have no idea what that's about, but this one must be one of those bot accounts.
Probably.
But I think we can tell that All Might is clearly distraught by this revelation.
Yeah, they all are.
That's it, but yeah. Anyway, the principal, I can't tell from the panel, from this panel, but just the way it's drawn. Let's see, given how his face is covered in shadow for the most part, he's asking if the children were to leave the room. I can't tell if he's visibly upset or enraged that one of his own students was a spy. However, we cut to the members of Class 1A, which we see Red Riot, Mineta. I believe Ida behind Shoto, but behind Shoto's speech bubble. Shoto, Uraka.
They're all there, even though they're not all on panel.
Yeah.
You don't have to name every single one of them, Blue.
Yeah, but I want to kind of just talk a little bit about some of their face expressions as we see.
They're all upset. They're all visibly either confused, upset, or in between. So
yeah. Let's see. Particularly a Pinky or Mina. Let's see.
Yeah, Mina.
Pinky's this makes no freaking sense. Guys, like, no, this can't be true, kind of thing. And Shelter saying that, no, we don't want to leave. We want to stay here. As he looks, in many ways, he looks visibly shocked. But I think he's maybe also be looking like shaking with fury.
It's shock.
Yeah.
None of them are mad.
Yeah, I guess that is true. And then Tailman ends up asking, what were you planning if Hagaku hadn't caught him, as he's clearly holding on to her and all that stuff. Apparently, some people have people have teased this as a ship moment between the two. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't really know many people. I don't know if anyone that actually ships anyone with Invisible Girl, to be honest.
I don't know either.
Let's see. I mean, I know that the other girls have all had someone being shipped with them and all that stuff, but
yeah.
I don't know anyone for Invisible Girl. I don't know, but I don't know. Some I think I've said Tailman has a crush on her, but I could be wrong.
Don't know.
But yeah, Red Riot goes on about how, asking, tell us this is all a lie and all that stuff. With Bakugo just commenting, well, actually, that might be Bakugo behind Shelter now I think about it. Nah, wait, it's probably not.
No, because he's right next to Midoriya.
Yeah, he's next to Midoriya. With him just commenting about how another one of us who started out quirkless, goes about how it's a small world. And clearly Miss Midoriya is affected by this world, affected by these words, as we see Oyama crying still. With the police detective going on about how we're still struggling to restore law and order, so he's asking them to tell us everything they knew about All for One. With the father going about how they know nothing, as he just makes his quests and they obey them. That's all. Going on about how should we fail, he'll kill them. If we lie to him, he'll also kill them. With him asking, okay, how will he kill you and all that stuff? As it was revealed that All for One gave them demonstrations, as we see a sort of flashback of him killing someone, particularly of those who defy him. Let's see. If a lackey surrendered to the police, they were killed as soon as after leaving prison. Apparently, they couldn't escape him. And going on about how whenever they ran, he would find them and make us face their doom, if you will. With the father going on about how Yuga had no way of knowing what would happen each time they followed those orders. He only knew that he mustn't fall under suspicion. Saying that, let's see, if anyone wants to blame, it's the parents. With Oyama thinking what was going on, let's see, with Invisible Girl's words from earlier, saying what was going on through your head this entire time. With Oyama just going on about talking about how your deaths could have very well been on my head, and yet I found myself smiling alongside them, like they were truly friends. Let's see. And then once he learned that Midoriya was quirkless, he yet faces any crushing task before him, standing up to All for One, in many ways doing a path that he could not, as he despaired about how pathetic his own choices were. Let's see. Rather than expressing his own concern for Midoriya, he just wallowed in his own misery, talking about how he's called to the rotten. As he goes about how Yugi Amoya, is nothing more than a rotten villain through and through. With Midoriya then going on about then why did you, try to save Bakugo and Tokoyami back in the forest? Because, let's see, after all, he used his naval laser to hit I'm trying to remember the masked villain. Let's see, the sort of League.
You have to look it up too.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. I remember the faces and the identities and the abilities, but I can never remember the names.
What's wrong with you?
I know. It's like, let's see. I can remember every single character in Naruto and what their names are, but not. Let's see.
Ooh,
but not my hero.
not at all.
Well, Midori. Well, let's see. Most of the characters in My Hero. Just most of the more minor characters, I guess. Just getting let's see, associates. Let's see. Damn this Wikipedia page. I want to get the Vanguard Action Squad up. Oh yeah, Mr. Compress. How could I forget that name?
Yeah, he compresses things.
Yeah. My mind must not be thinking straight today. As we see him hit that, which saved Tokiyama, but not Bakugo then. As you see kind of those two looking on with what Midoriya saying. And then him comments about how the cheese that he left him that night. You did it, asking if did one for order you to do that too and all that stuff. With a cheese piece saying that I know.
Doesn't really matter what the cheese said. People should know that.
Yeah, but Midoriya says that's of course not, and going saying he's blaming himself for not realizing that that was like his SOS message to him. And the reason that he's crying right now is clearly isn't because you failed. You failed all for one. Let's see. As he happens to know a hero who got manipulated by all for one before, thinking of Lady Naga. But even she didn't sell her entire soul to him and all that stuff. Just saying that her spirit was crushed is all. With All Might Trinity listening to what Midoriya is saying. With him thinking about if he had known sooner, things might have worked out differently. But he goes on about how doing wrong doesn't make him a villain for the rest of his life. So he's telling, Oyama to take his hand, with Bakugo realizing that, think about what was said earlier. If nothing else, we can choose how to end this fight. With Bakugo now getting what Midoriya is saying. As Midoriya says the words to Oyama that he can still be a hero, ending the chapter as Oyama's Midoriya crying and Oyama crying, and that ends the chapter.
Thank you for that word-for-word panel. You might as well have just read it all.
Part of me, yeah, but
you were basically reading it all anyway.
Sorry, I just didn't know how to quickly summarize this.
Apparently no one knows how to summarize things. Maybe I should start a new streaming service. Maybe I'll set up a stream.
How about next time you summarize then?
I summarize everything. What's that be the time I'm not here?
But yeah.
No, it's just funny. I always laugh about that.
But yeah, anyway, I do like how Darby's questioning All for One about his supposed friend or spy in UA and what would happen.
Friends, yeah.
Once they get caught, let's see. As we just see just how cruel All for One is. It says, "Oh, nothing really. I couldn't care less really. If they succeed in their mission, I'll be happy. If they fail, he'll just brush it off."
This is the guy that already told us that he had 50 different plans.
Yeah, and this was just one of them.
Yeah.
But let's see. So I go on.
I was just gonna say. So yeah. So it's just nothing really happens in this case.
Yeah, but I just find it interesting just how this whole spy plot line, ever since the training park. Let's see, the fandom fan base has made such a big deal about it. Okay, who's the spy? Who's the spy? Who's the spy? But for All for One, it's just it's just a Tuesday kind of thing.
Yeah, I got more pawns to be disposed of later.
Yeah, so he's got bigger plans. So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's see. But anyway, I do like how, but instead of having a direct confrontation, the parents try to desperately get, Yuga out of there, as they know that, if they get caught, they're going to be turned into the authorities and all that stuff. But it's interesting that we learn a bit more about Oyama's upbringing, and as we probably guessed, he seems to have had, for the most part, a very decent lifestyle. Since apparently,
Pampered lifestyle because they're rich, yes.
Yeah. Perhaps not as rich as Momo, I guess, or Yamamomo, I think. Creati.
Yeah. But, I mean, they must be, because, again, the first word is wealthy, privileged families.
Yeah. So, let's see. So, it's like... So, but yeah, you can see that, let's see, when he was young, they seemed to have like a pretty decent lifestyle until like it was revealed that he was quirkless. And the parents panicked because they were afraid of him being regarded as different.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, that seems to be, in some ways, some parents do worry about their children being different, let's see, regardless. And let's see, rightly or wrongly, they try to see if they can try and get them to fit in as much as possible. Which, in many ways, let's see, doesn't always work. And in this case, they didn't realize it at the time. They made a deal with the devil. So that's like that. So it's interesting to see just how Oyama's life was like. Let's see, after the quirk. We see the effects of it. Let's see, not fitting with his body, him adjusting, and him having a brief moment of happiness before All for One, gave him orders to like infiltrate UA and be a spy. And it feels like his latest mission was to try and get Midoriya separated from everyone. So arguably for like the villains to like, swoop in and try and capture him and all that stuff. Which clearly this seemed to be the one that probably disturbed Oyama most of all, but he ends up talking to Midoriya about how once he got like the message, like the note from Midoriya.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like in utter despair. I quite like that because it tells me that he realized that Midoriya was more like him than he actually realized.
Well, I mean, this proved that apparently, no one really knew that Deku had the power at that point.
Yeah, no one knew it was like a quirk transferred to him. I think Oyama would definitely be the one to be the most suspicious of, given now what we've known about him. But
he apparently never knew either, meaning, again, One for All really didn't seem to know who All Might's successor was himself until Midoriya was in the vicinity around that time when All Might finally retired.
Oh yeah, let's see. It's down to like Shigaraki first mentioned it, and then he came to time for like the raid arc, the hideout raid arc.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
That was when All for One managed to figure out that All Might was his successor.
Yeah, Midoriya.
All Might gave his successor. Yeah. Who we figured out was Midoriya. Yep.
In their ways, I would be surprised if perhaps Oyama's a bit resentful how Midoriya, which he was able to, a quirkless kid, was able to be lucky and got his quirk from All Might rather from an evil villain like himself.
It didn't seem to play at any part in this chapter that really was a thing.
Okay, perhaps maybe that's me just looking into it.
Probably. I mean, that could eventually... I mean, if it's going to come up, it's next chapter. But I would have said if it was anything to be of noteworthy, it would have already happened in this chapter.
But yeah, I do find it interesting how he just falls into despair, realizing that
well, yeah, I think really what it was is that he feels like, well, Midoriya kept going on the path of a hero. He succumbed to
the path
he instead of rising up like a hero, he just succumbed to following the trends of, oh, hey, this guy's going to kill me, so I got to literally do unheroic deeds.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I do like how we're reminded that, besides Invisible Girl being invisible, her, invisible body allows her to deflect light, which can actually be quite useful depending on the circumstances.
I think we talked about that last week anyway, where
Um,
her body is can refract light.
yeah, maybe we did. I can't recall, but
Because
here
they used that ability during the hero trial, or when they were going for their provision license.
I believe so. But
He
yeah,
refract he
but yeah,
reflected her light. Yeah, they used a combination attack.
yeah. But let's see. But yeah,
It's just to remind us
yeah,
that that was a
yeah.
thing.
These two would probably make quite the good team. That this is probably why you could probably see Invisible Girl being really upset.
Well,
But
she's just upset, just like everyone else is.
yeah,
Because again, they all thought he was their friend, and
yeah,
finding out that he's been selling them out.
yeah. In some ways, I kind of wish that before this chapter we could have seen a bit more bonding between Invisible Girl and Ayama, particularly, just to see, make it imply that these two are closer than others. Just because I think that'd probably make the face reveal thing much more impactful, but which we probably get into. We finally get an idea of what Invisible Girl actually looks like.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that this is going to be the. Well, this again. I said it last week. Is this the last arc? Yes. Is it the last mini arc? No. I know the fan base likes to compress every kind of event into its own miniature arc for the full final arc thing, but
Well,
yeah,
we know
this
what,
is definitely the end game
yeah,
situation.
when
So,
the final saga, but we don't quite know if this is the final arc in the saga.
well, this sure as hell ain't the final arc, but
Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
in Japan they don't do arcs. It's literally just
Acts.
no, it's literally just all one thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So even if there were sub things like in here in America and probably over in the UK, we both probably do break things apart into whatever to make it seem like it's all one subsection or crap like that. Yeah,
Um.
in Japan they literally just if that's the whole saga, that's literally it. There's like no arcs in between.
Okay. So.
Like
Okay.
in Dragon Ball, it's just all Saiyan saga. Even though Goku goes off somewhere, it's just all Saiyan saga. Just like with Pokemon, there's no arcs. It's just where in America we had like 3 different uh song title things, whatever. Japan,
Pokemon
yeah,
Advance Blue.
yeah. Pokemon literally has its own. Literally, they're all just one saga. There's no arcs in between.
Okay, that's the first I've actually heard of this.
That's the first you've heard of this. The only reason I learned was because Pokemon doesn't do it at all either in Japan, where in America they do it. So I'd assumed that was just literally all a Japan thing.
I don't know. I think we need to look into that. Kind of
We need to look into that.
Yeah, I think we need to probably look into that a bit. Ask around.
Don't trust wikis.
To be fair, I don't fully trust wikis, to be honest, because they are prone to fan bias.
Right. That's why I don't know if, like I said, I don't really think there's subsection arcs in My Hero. I think
Wikipedia's, I trust. Wikipedia's, I trust. Let's see them to just basic information, but I don't trust them fully on like stuff like personality and
right.
trivias.
Yeah, that's why I mean, with how short these are, I really don't think in Japan they really break these down into small subsections. I think it's literally just all part of one act.
I can kind of see that, but I can kind of see how you can separate these into like
because they're all just one chapter is what they go by if the titles are anything.
Well, I can see how they can separate. I can see how we can separate some of these like parts of the story into like separate arcs and sagas and all that stuff. But
the only other reason I would think that is because you would think then if that were the case, then every volume would try to keep everything together and then have it be as consistent as possible. But those volumes just end on like 7 or 8 chapters, it feels like. And those can just branch over into like split an arc if how we're doing it.
Yeah, I mean split like an arc into like in like one volume,
Yeah.
like half midway. I know it happened with Naruto a few times.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
that's why I don't think in Japan they do it like that.
Um,
I think they just consider it all one thing. But
probably to an extent, but I think with One Piece, they definitely do split that. I think they do to an extent split it into certain sagas because I have looked on eBay for like box sets of One Piece, and I do know that they do kind of have like the box sets for that in like certain sagas and all that stuff as well.
right.
So like East Blue, Baroque Works, like us, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it really depends on the mangaka and the story they're telling. Well, like with Fullmetal Alchemist, I can't really see that being separate as like multiple arcs. It feels like just one full story from beginning to end. But with something like Naruto and Naruto and One Piece, I can see it being like multiple arcs or sagas, if you will, and Bleach mega arcs, to be honest.
Right.
So, but anyway, back to the back to the content I can. What do you make of Invisible Girl's appearance?
Still kind of hard because you don't really see her whole. But I mean, I guess really a face is just half. Once you cut it in half, it's literally the same on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I guess her hair being shorter than I thought it was makes a little more sense.
I don't know why, but I think her hair kind of reminds me of perhaps Uraka a little bit.
It's wavy, so it's really hard to tell.
But yeah, well, it's nice to finally see a bit of the face. Granted, I do wonder if we're going to get a full face reveal at some point.
If he does it, it probably would just be one of the. I guess it could be in a data book if he wanted to do it. If he wanted to like reveal it.
Maybe, but
there's no reason to really do it now beyond this. Unless all quirks get stolen, then sure, show her full character, but they'd have to have a towel around.
Oh yes, I could. Yeah, for very obvious reasons. Let's see, which let's best not get into.
We're going from teen to M, my guys.
Oh boy, we're being inappropriate right now.
It's not inappropriate. Inappropriate's to love Rue Darkness, which is an official Shonen Jump, or was.
Okay, let's not get into that manga.
Let's not get into that.
Anyway, I do like how her words just seem to really infect Ariyama. Anyway, I do like how easily Midori is able to capture Oriyama and his parents because, well, face it, they're civilians. They're not combat trained, really.
Yeah, they were never shown to be heroes, so we don't even know if they have quirks or not.
Well, they should have quirks since, they were worried about Oriyama being different. They're just probably not all-powerful quirks, like hero ones, if you will.
Guess not.
So yeah, it's nice to see Black Whip easily capturing him and all that stuff.
Well, it's just nice to see that he's got full control of Black Whip.
Mm-hmm.
But as for his words, I mean, I guess it's just kind of the author putting words into what was being said in last week's chapter. Because he was saying the whole time that it's like, I thought these guys were my friends, but he kept turning on them essentially. So it's just, again, her words basically are just what he was thinking, put out into put out into actual words to hear. So clearly, that was going to make him devastated or whatnot.
Yeah, but yeah, just speaking of devastation, I really see out of all the faces that are devastated by this revelation, which one's your favorite?
I mean, Midoriya's is pretty much on par with what you'd expect.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think All Might's is probably the most kind of unexpected, but
Yeah,
most appropriate, I guess.
I mean, yeah, because it's like, oh my god, another victim of All for One's evil and all that stuff.
Yeah, his own student.
Yeah, and not to mention it's a quirkless fella like him.
But I mean, the whole class was like, even Ayama, of all things considered, it's like the whole class is like really not sure how to. They don't really want to believe it.
Yeah,
None of them are angry, like I was trying to tell you. Like
that's,
literally, none of them are angry. They're
yeah,
just confused by the situation as to why this even happened,
yeah. No,
because they felt they were all friends.
yeah. Now, granted, I kind of feel like Shoto looks like, let's see, with his physical disturbance, like, is he like silently angry in the way his face is, the way his head's turned a little bit?
No, because if you, I mean, I can send you a picture of his zoomed in face. He's literally not angry. He's not
Okay,
even
fair enough.
shaking. He's not even shaking because
All right.
you don't see the shake lines. No, he's just literally like he's got more of a more blank expression than he usually has
I guess, but I
because
kind of feel like,
his pupils are dilated.
I don't know, it just feels like it's like a sort of silent fury to me. Okay, perhaps I'm looking into it.
You are, because I mean, the only one who would be
Really?
angry, the only guy who's ever known to be angry, isn't even angry, which is
Uh,
Bakugo.
okay. You made your point.
I'm just letting you know, man. If you want him to be angry, fine. But I mean, if Bakugo of all people isn't angry, then that really should really be the biggest hint that no one here is really mad at him.
Okay. You made your point. He's visibly disturbed. He's disturbed like everyone else.
I think, sure, fine. We'll go with
Well,
disturbed. I was going to say
like,
confused. I think
confused.
they're really
Okay,
confused.
confused. All right, confused. Sorry for the poor choice of wording.
I'm gonna hammer it home to you.
You've hammered it home enough. But anyway, I think one of my favorite. It's just like is probably Mineta with just how wide-eyed he is. It's like,
Well, it's always Mineta.
yeah,
It's Hosashi. Is that right? It's the creator's favorite character, so he's always going to be on panel whenever he
yeah,
can be.
yeah. Anyway, let's see. I think the most upset amongst them seems to be Mina.
She's always the most energetic of the type who's
And emotional, I guess.
I'd say she's usually the most optimistic, so yeah, if she's a big indicator of like, oh man, how did this happen? But I mean, even someone you really wouldn't have expected with Kirishima, even
Yeah,
he's
just
like
like
visibly like, oh man, this can't be real, right?
yeah, I quite like that. You know, the only thing, if Ayama was just like secretly like an evil person, I think they'd probably be even more ritzy emotionally wrecked and all that stuff.
Yeah, they could probably if they didn't feel like he was good, then maybe they'd be angry, but they legitimately felt like he was part of the group, so
Yeah.
they're all upset by this. I mean,
Who wouldn't be?
Tokoyami's kind of just stoic as usual. I'm curious what the Ida uh, zoom in was for.
It seems to be just like I think he's just trying to assess the situation, how serious it is, and all that stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, because typically zoom ins are like if it's something that happened to the character before, kind of situation.
Uh-huh.
Like maybe this was either reflecting on what might have he would have but that was back during the Stain arc. But I don't know. Those words don't really seem to fit for that zoom in. So maybe they just wanted to show what his expression was too. Assessing the situation. He of all the ones, maybe he's the one that looks maybe the angriest.
Let's see. Well, he is listening to when Ayama's talking about how the desks have been on his head and on his hands, if you could say.
Right, and yet he was smiling with them all the way.
Yeah. But anyway, I do find it interesting about how, let's see, when the police are questioning him, they end up with feeling why they're so scared, why like Ayama's parents were so scared of one, because he's shown examples of what happens.
He only showed one example. I mean, at least based on the dialogue, it was one demonstration, and it was some no-name guy that surrendered to the police. Once he got out, he got killed.
I guess I think, let's see. From what I guess it depends on the translation, because I think I saw some of the unofficial translations say that each showed the multiple cases of what would happen if if you defied him, if someone sent you to the police.
Yeah, in the Viz translation, saying just a single demonstration.
But yeah.
But it does say of what happens to those who defy him.
Yeah.
But they're saying it was some lackey.
Yeah.
He killed after leaving prison.
Yeah. And even if they tried to run away, let's see, he would hunt them down and kill them.
Well, yeah, because he can locate the quirk at all times. They probably don't know that, but they just assume that, yeah, he's someone who's fully capable of killing someone at all times. But I'd like to point out that, yeah, he was not rigged up to explode if he betrayed.
Yeah,
which was something I discussed about last time.
Yeah, with the
not being 100% sure of, but
yeah, I believe I'm wondering whether or not Lady Naga, if he was like Lady Naga, but it seems like that was not the case.
He didn't apparently plan for that type of thing back a decade ago, I guess.
Yeah. Or either that, or he viewed Ayama as such a meager threat to him that he didn't need to bother.
Considering it was just going to be little as information as possible, yeah, I guess so.
Let's see, but yeah.
Well, he was always going to use him, but I guess he figured since it was a quirk he gave, maybe.
Yeah.
Since the kid was quirkless.
Yeah.
That would make either way, again, it was like
and to be fair, Lady Naga is a powerful sniper here that even tried to kill him at one point.
Right. But based on face value from the dialogue, it just sounds like that wasn't something he ever planned to do back in the day. So yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter when he decided, oh, well, now I got to set my pawns up to explode should they turn on me.
I guess he only does that with the ones that he could consider being a serious Retsi threat if they betray him.
I guess if we were going to base that on a theory, yeah, that would make sense.
So that's probably at least, but we guess we have to see more examples of this. So something tells me we're probably not going to.
Yeah, the only ones that have exploded are recently, and that's so to hide where he's camping out, because every time Deku defeated his lackeys trying to find information where he was, they'd explode.
I thought that was only Lady Naga.
No, it's been all of them.
Oh, okay, I must have misremembered that.
It's just none of them else were important, so Deku captured them.
Okay.
That or they weren't talking, or maybe he wasn't. I don't know how he got around it, but I just remember him going around capturing lesser villains and them not cooperating, so he'd literally knock them out.
Okay, fair enough.
But I think they were all set to self-destruct.
But anyway, as I do like how when Ayama's just going about how he's such a low-life villain, let's see, given how Midoriya was like very similar to him, which I think even Bakugo comments on.
Just the whole quirkless thing, small world.
Yeah. I do like how Midoriya, tries to, tells, Ayama that he's wrong, and that despite, the fact that he feels himself as a villain, he himself is trying to be a hero, as when he tried to save Bakugo and Tokoyami during the camp thing.
Yeah.
The fact that he also tried to befriend Midoriya with those cheese messages, despite the fact that All For One didn't tell him to get too close to Midoriya, otherwise, well, that might have blown his cover and all that stuff.
Yeah, we still don't know. Again, based on dialogue, I don't even know if All For One even really was giving him much of anything. I think it was just he was receiving information.
Yeah, but that whole cheese thing was probably just a hit. Like, you clearly almost like cry for help at least.
Well, that's what Midoriya is claiming it to be, but
Yeah.
I think at the time it was just he wanted a friend.
Probably, but who knows? Let's see, but yeah. But in many ways, would you say that this is like Midoriya's type of talk no jutsu?
I mean, this is what Midoriya has always been, so.
I know, but then again, I guess due to the fact that Naruto was infamous for people just whenever you see a hero trying to persuade a villain, people call it talk no jutsu.
At least with Midoriya, it's not like his villains are like uber villainous. He hasn't converted a super villain yet. Ayama can't. I mean, I know Ayama is calling himself a villain because he gave in to his weaknesses about wanting to die or not wanting to die or whatnot, but you can't really call it villainous, and that's why Deku's saying he could still be a hero.
Fair enough. Yeah. So anyway,
but I'd like to point out what Bakugo's thinking about isn't what Deku's possibly thinking about, but it's what I was discussing about last week, in that the heroes can use this as the ability to get the jump on the villains for a change.
Yeah. I do like how Bakugo is the first to realize what Midoriya is actually doing. No,
no, it's not. It's not what Midoriya is doing. I'm saying that I don't think Midoriya is thinking about it that way. What Bakugo is thinking about is that what he said last week was how they have to wait for the villains to make their move, how to enter the fight. What Bakugo is thinking about is what I was thinking about, how they can use Ayama as a way of getting the jump on the villains. What Deku's probably thinking about is just emotionally. Until next week, who knows? Maybe Deku is thinking about it.
Okay, I guess we'll find out who's right and who's wrong.
I guess maybe.
Let's see chapter, but yeah, I can definitely see Midoriya. I mean, All Might's thinking that Midoriya is trying to save him.
Yeah, I think Deku is just trying to do the emotional thing, which is like, Ayama, you can still be a hero. You don't have to. You don't have to be like this. You don't have to follow One for All.
Yeah.
But Deku, like Bakugo's picking up on the idea that, wait a minute, we just talked about how we have to wait for the villains because we have no idea where they are, so we can't just make the first move. Now that they have someone who can get the villains to move, this is the hero's opportunity to finally get the first strike. That's what Bakugo's thinking about.
Okay. Anyway, I do like how the last words Midoriya is saying to like Ayama is that you can be a hero, you can still be a hero. In many ways, very similar to like the words All Might said to him and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was probably going to be something that got passed down eventually.
Yeah.
But he's already done that once before, too, with Koda, didn't he?
I think you're referring to the second My Hero Academia movie.
I guess that count. Yeah, maybe that was it then.
Because
the kid only had a regenerative ability.
Yeah, because I don't think he ever said that to Kota.
Maybe not. Maybe it was just through his actions he proved that heroes can still be people to depend on. So I think Koda lost faith in heroes because his parents died, and
and Midoriya became his hero.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do like it. In many ways, it's something that it's something that every quirkless kid probably wants to hear. That wants to be a hero, of course.
Even though, I mean, they're technically in the same boat that they're no longer. Well, first they're no longer quirkless.
Yeah.
So.
But see, Midoriya is giving him a choice of like, you can still be a hero. You don't have to be all for ones. And if I have to make a prediction, I think Oyama is definitely probably going to take it, though. Granted, I am curious to see if there will be any long-term repercussions for his actions and all that stuff. I don't know if the police.
Probably not, because if anything, the parents took on all the blame. It sounds like, again, that Oyama really, again, didn't have any idea what was going on other than just he gave up information.
So, you believe the police will arrest his parents at the very least, then?
If it happens at all. Otherwise, if he helps them, they'll probably be like, you know what, that was enough to...
Pardon
you
your
didn't
parents?
really... Yeah. It was enough to save you from... You really didn't really do anything wrong. No one died from anything, but I guess in the long run, Oyama was the sole purpose for All Might retiring.
But no, that's I guess you could technically, he was partly you could say again the linked information he is.
Yeah, because
responsible.
if he never gave out the summer camp, they would have never stolen Bakugo, and All Might would have never had to have looked for Bakugo, and then he never would have fought One for All.
Yeah. Now, granted, I am now very curious to see how Oyama will now interact with the rest of Class 1A, because I don't think he can ever be that goofy, self-centered person again.
I imagine they'll probably not think too much different of him, but he'd be the one that feels like he did stuff. So who knows?
Yeah. So I think let's see. But there's clearly going to be probably some initial tension because, well, the spy thing is hard to get over. But I definitely say that. I definitely feel like Oyama's definitely going to join up with them and all that stuff, though. It'll be very interesting the next time when All for One interacts with Oyama, if he does. No, granted, I could just see him taunting, Oyama to Midoriya just to rile him up.
Maybe.
I can definitely. After all, we've seen All for One taunt, All Might's master to taunt him up, allowing him to do a strike. So anyway, is there anything else you want to comment on this chapter?
I think we actually really covered it. Like really in depth went into everything. Yeah, I don't think there's really much. I mean, I like the face reveal. I think the hair might be a little basic, but for someone who's not really ever going to be drawn features too often, if at all, ever again, it works.
Yeah, it gives us an idea of what she looks like.
Hooray! Now we can finally have much more art of her, supposedly.
Yeah, I have seen some fan art covers for chapter discussions of her ever since this face reveal. I've seen people give her green hair, silver hair, blah blah blah. Well, granted, but we'll have to wait and see if the anime will probably give us a better idea of her features.
I'm under the impression that she's just going to have clear hair, because I think all of her is still going to be invisible. It's just going to it just showed whatever. But I wonder how she sees herself. Does she even know what she looks like?
I think there was a little Olmec chapter where everyone in class 1A was trying to figure out what she actually looks like, and I tried to get her to smudge her face on something, but just end up being this blur, this sort of face blur kind of thing.
Oh.
And there was also like a photo of her entire family, who is also as invisible as her.
That's the hereditary quirk for you.
But now that let's see, since it was Invisible Girl being the one that let's see, found out Aoyama was the spy and that stuff, I kind of want them to interact a bit more, since these two do make a good combo tag team, if you will, since their quirks work well together.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see going forward if that's what the decision is. Like I said, they did it once before in the Precision exam, so maybe they'll do it again.
And I believe they were both in the same team for the joint training battle.
Yeah, it might have been because it was Tokoyami, Momo. It probably was Oyama and then Haru, yeah, or Toru, because they were the only ones that lost. And they lost in such kind of a lame way too.
Well, I definitely remember Full Life saying, okay, this is what you do for the 200th chapter of My Hero Academia, though, granted, manga... mangas, to an extent, and now and then, sometimes make a big deal out of their 100th chapter or 1000th chapter, but not always, I guess.
200 chapters in, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't even think 300 was anything spectacular.
Yeah. I do know that, let's see, Oda did something big for the 1000th chapter, but of course, it's the 1000th chapter.
Yeah, not too many mangas get that far.
Yeah. And
they're lucky to get to 800.
Yeah. Kishimoto made the 700 chapter the finale, but of course, that chapter is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, granted, let's see, before then, for the 600 chapter, it's more of the aftermath of the face reveal. It's more 599. That was the total identity reveal thing.
Yeah, I don't think Bleach had anything spectacular happen in any of their 100th chapters.
Yeah, so I think it definitely varies from mangaka to mangaka.
I can't think of any, really. Possibly just, like you said, Oda's for the 1000th chapter.
Yeah.
But I don't think Yu Yu Hakusho did anything great. I don't think maybe maybe Chi or Steve could tell you about Rurouni Kenshin. Maybe.
Possibly. I don't know. The only thing I can think of is maybe Attack on Titan's 100th chapter, when Eren transformed into his Titan form first time in the time skip. And that declaration of war thing. Wait, how much are you into Attack on Titan?
I started it and then didn't really get that far, and then after...
Okay, so just wondering...
just recently hearing Chi.
So do you really care about spoilers for Attack on Titan?
Probably not, because Chi's probably spoiled most of it through Twitter anyway.
Oh, you mean if it's despair with the ending and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm just wondering if I might have just spoiled what going on in an ongoing series, but yeah. It's more of a US comic thing, which it is kind of weird how My Hero Academia doesn't do that with that, because it's like, it's supposed to be a manga based on US comics.
Well, they do U.S. homages to superheroes, but I don't really see too many any things beyond that. It definitely takes on the manga role more so than a comic book.
Yeah. Overall, I suppose, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this up? Or
just that I was right for the second week in a row.
Now we're going to see whether or not you're going to be right for the third week on anything.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to know because this didn't really end on a cliffhanger. So we don't really know what next week's going to bring. Could be more discussion. Could be maybe my idea of them using Ayama to get the villains.
So let's just see if you're right on that. Let's see. And Bakugo points out this plan and all that stuff.
Right. Otherwise, you're right. And it's both Deku and them were thinking about it the whole time.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, no. But
yeah,
the only other thing it could be is we go back to like full on villain crap. next week too. That could happen.
Fair enough.
We could have some really silly. I wouldn't say filler, but like some really silly intermediate chapter for some reason.
Okay.
Could possibly happen. I doubt it, but
yeah, but I definitely think it's going to be more of the conclusion of this whole spy mini arc thing.
Yeah, I don't really. I don't really. Outside of them having a plan, I don't really know where else they could go for this next one.
Anyway, overall, I think I'll give this chapter an 8 out of 10, maybe an 8.5.
A little less than last week's. I think you had it at a 9 last week for last week's reveal.
I was maybe thinking a 9, but I don't know. Do you think this chapter deserves a 9?
Between 8 and 9 seems fine.
Yeah, let's see. So that's probably around my score. I guess it's more just, but because it's like, I do like how we get everyone's reactions. The reveal of a brief reveal of what Invisible kind of looks like. Let's see what her face at least, all that stuff.
Right.
And we just see more of All for One's cruelty and all that stuff.
Well, we knew he was gonna kill, but I think that's the first time we've actually ever seen him
killing someone.
Yeah, killing anyone, even though it's again some really lesser, unimportant person.
The only other time I can think of that you might have seen killing someone is the little bit where there was a special Omake chapter of when All Might's master met her end against All for One and all that stuff.
Yeah, we knew off panel that he killed a lot of people, but we never really saw it until just now for real.
Yeah,
because I mean, we thought Genus might have died, but he didn't even kill those guys. Genus just kind of went into a kind of like not really a retirement per se, but he had a
recovery period.
Yeah, because of how much fear One for All really instilled in everyone.
But I definitely say that besides the highlight of Invisible Girl, it's definitely Midoriya's words about "you can still be a hero" to me, as well as everyone's reactions.
Yeah, really, the reactions were what probably were going to make or break this chapter, and I think it's good to know that again, none of them are really blaming him, but they're like, "What the hell happened? This is real.
This can't be true.
Yeah, this can't be real. He's our friend. There's no way he would turn on us." But it's in keeping with the dark tones recently, so that's cool too.
Yeah. So and it seems like let's see now My Hero Academia is coming close to their own sort of little traitor reveal thing, because it seems nearly every manga has to have some form of traitor in it. But anyway,
this is one of the more reluctant traitors, or so to speak. I don't know. Well, I don't know how reluctant he was, but he's one of the lesser informed, because it's not like he was again giving information to everyone, and it's not like he was being told of what the plans were himself. He's just given a simple message, and all he had to do was provide an answer, and that was it.
Yeah. So overall, thank you for joining me, Mangareader. We might have gone a bit off topic a bit, talking about some
things.
Such as how Japan views the manga
sagas or arcs or whatnot.
Yeah,
maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I thought for sure that was kind of somehow how they played it out. But
I don't know. Perhaps maybe Steve and James know more about this topic.
Yeah, Steve would be the one for sure. James kind of wants to think of himself as a know-it-all, but he's probably not really any more enlightened on it than us. So,
oh boy, you better hope he doesn't watch this towards the end.
Oh, he'll learn what I have to say whenever we do whatever it is.
Yes, the Dragon Ball. That's probably spoilers. But anyway.
Spoilers, guys.
Anyway, thank you for joining me, Mangareader. Hopefully, Lucky Chi will be able to join us next week, or hopefully you'll be able to join me next week.
Yeah, it sounded like the 22nd,
Yeah.
or it didn't sound like it. That's what he typed was the 22nd, so it would be a Wednesday.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what happens because, after all, it's nearly Christmas time. Anyway,
that's like literally a day before. Well, 2
Christmas
days before Christmas Eve, and then 3 days before Christmas. So yeah.
So yeah, I'm Blue Star Saber.
I'm Mangareader.
And we are signing off. Goodbye, everyone. Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra. And yet that still only took our standard 1 hour.
Yeah, goodbye, everyone.